What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Thank Ganja It's Friday, Part 2. The whole show was so long in the editing, I had to cut it in two. I hope you saw the first one, but if you didn't, Part 1 will be right here. And without further ado, let's get this thing finished. Here's Part 2. You don't want to miss it. And with that, I'm done with my rant. What else you got for me?
Well, speaking of Marjorie Taylor Greene and Kristi Noem getting smacked down, let's head into the courtroom where Trump is getting smacked with all those rolled up legal papers.
Thank you for bringing back the levity. Lord, we needed it.
Back. Okay, back to the the orange turd in the room. First thing, he lost his limited gag order request, was denied. His track record speaks for itself.
Yes.
Can I just respond, Judge? Please, can I just respond? I don't want to testify, but can I just respond? I promise I'll just respond nicely.
The only reason he wants to do that is because if every word you say is a lie, you can't testify. You can't do that. He wants to be able to say the lies, right? He wants to be able to lie unconditionally and not have to have any consequences for it.
I mean, Blanche is just, I don't know how he's lasting this out. Blanche is losing his shit. He almost broke down in tears at the mistrial request was denied as well.
Oh,
but in between that humiliation, there was a nice big fat orange humiliation. Stormy was on it today. She brought it with the cross exam.
Yes.
Susan Necklace, I don't know, man, if that Marcia Clark lookalike hairdo did her any favors this recently. But she was slut shaming, and it was not a good look. She just had nothing more to do except, shame. Didn't you lie? Didn't you do this? But astoundingly, I can't believe this is not deliberately. She kept referring to well, Stormy, didn't you mean that you were going to be instrumental in sending the president to jail with these posts you made on Twitter? She said, no. So they called me a name and I responded to it. It's called humor. But who did you mean by flush down the toilet? Who is this orange tea turd of which you speak? Don't you mean... And can you please, clerk, could you blow that up on the screen so that everybody can see the post that I'm talking about, where you call him an orange turd? Are you referring to the defendant as an orange turd that you flushed down the toilet? Yes, I did. All right, so the orange turd you're talking about is yes, definitely. I meant Donald Trump is the orange turd.
I think his
since they called me a toilet, I thought I would respond in kind and say that he's the orange turd that I need to flush away.
Oh my God! It seems like his lawyers are purposefully trying to embarrass this man. Last time he woke up to Michael Cohen's tweets
and posts. Shits and pants is on the record.
And now they're begging the prosecution, please call him a turd again. Make it bigger so he can see it. I think they're secretly rebelling. I think that's how they're doing it.
I think so too. He had to not only hear it, but see it over and over and over and over. And plus, all weekend, it's going to be everywhere and unavoidable to him as well. That's why he freaked out on Truth Social and spit all over the screen. Anyway, I'm ranting now.
Yeah. Listen, I just saw that too.
Yeah, Stormy did us proud there today. But then there's more.
Okay, let's do it.
The mistrial hearing was denied with a scathing rebuke from the Mershon. Their defense's own words came back to bite them. But they said, this trial is not about sex. Exactly. This trial is not about sex. And in your opening statements, the judge points out, you were the ones who wanted her to talk about details in order to prove that she was making it up.
Oh, these
attack
lawyers.
Her claim of sex. All they did was attack her claim about whether or not the sex took place or any of this took place, but they never once attacked any of the fraud questions. Did this fraud take place? No. In the opening statement, they made it about the sex themselves. And now they're trying to get them to limit the sexual testimony.
I think everybody was just sick of imagining Donald Trump with his mushroom and her. I think that's really what happens is after this trial is done and they heard that and they had to look at that orange turd to every day in the courtroom, they went to the bathroom and threw up.
Oh,
I agree. I'm done with that. She also described what it was like that she'd had in her, and she was only 27 or something at the time. And at the time, she said she got to feel for the first time a 60-year-old's flesh, which is very different for her at the time. I'm not listening. Oh my!
I mean, no disrespect to 60-year-old studs out there.
Listen, it's not about that. It's about being 20-something with the 60-year-old. 2 60-year-old flesh can flab all they want. I'm down for it. I hope I'm still flabbing at 60, but my God, what are we talking about? Just the grossness.
The grossness.
And that goes back to our dog killer, goes to Marjorie Taylor Greene. This entire party has just become a cesspool of disgusting grossness, and you have to be grosser and grosser and dumber in order to make a name for yourself.
Well, yeah.
Thank you.
Last week it was the diapers they were all wearing. What are they going to be going around whapping each other with newspapers?
Oh my God.
Tomorrow is, we don't know exactly who the next witness will be, but I don't know who else it could be but Cohen. I mean, you got to go out on a bang on Friday, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be Cohen.
It's got to be Cohen. And people, this is, thank Ganja, it's Friday, so it will be happening while you're watching this presentation. We'll make sure to get you something over the weekend about how that went, if it was important. This was more funny than anything else. What more can you say about this? It's been beat to death. The truth is, there's somebody, the only part that I find important about all of this is he's almost at a dead tie with Joe Biden. That, in all seriousness, guys, like, he's at a dead tie in swing states with Joe Biden. So everything that we're laughing at here is still not getting through. And that, to me, is the biggest indictment on what we've become. Our education system, our political enlightenment, our capacity to engage in bull, our capacity to eat it without spitting it back out has become world class. We're a laughing stock of history. Generations after us will look back and go, what the hell were they thinking? Yikes. Please, somebody spank me with a rolled up newspaper. This is crazy. What else we got, man? I doubt there's anything else important that Stormy could have told us.
Well, since Eric was absent today, they have to keep one of his extra worms in the room. Today, the worm du jour was Rick Scott. Attended the truck trial. Stephen Miller, Eric, and Rick Scott have been there for him.
Where's your wife? Anyway, I'm done. What else we got? Next story. We can laugh at our RFK's admission to have his brain eaten by a worm another time, but there's some important stuff here. There's some important stuff right now in Georgia. Kemp just signed a law that will allow for people to just call up and say, hey, I think that this person shouldn't be on the voter rolls. Something about them doesn't look right. And they will be taken off the voter roll. Not innocent until proven guilty. They're guilty until that person comes and proves themselves innocent. I have to be calling once a month at least just to make sure that I'm okay to vote. If you don't believe me, people, if you don't believe me, this is what's happening in Georgia. This is the extent that they're willing to go to disenfranchise Black people, disenfranchise Democrats on a whole. But the easiest way to do that is people of color, because we have the least amount of power. Watch this space.
The Associated Press is reporting that Governor Brian Kemp signed legislation on yesterday, that makes additional changes to Georgia's election laws ahead of the 2024 presidential contest in the battleground state, including defining probable causes for removing voters from the rolls when their eligibility is challenged. I've talked about voters in the state of Georgia who are having their eligibility to vote in the state of Georgia challenged by regular old other Georgia citizens, not by staff at the elections office. No, any Joe Schmo who is a resident of the state of Georgia can challenge another Georgia resident's eligibility to vote. That means Karen McCarran over in Marietta can look at Deborah down in Fulton County and say, hey, something's not right with Deborah. Let me go down to the elections office and challenge her eligibility to vote in this state. And then Deborah has to jump through several rings and cross over several hurdles to prove that she is eligible to vote in this state. Moving on with the article, Republican activists, fueled by debunked theories of a stolen election, have challenged more than 100,000 voters in the state in recent years. The activists say they are rooting out duplicate records and removing voters who have moved out of the state. And I guarantee you that those people that they are targeting look like me, and the people who are doing the targeting don't look like me.
Think about that. You're really wondering if there's going to be a dictatorship, or you're wondering how low will they go? What's going on? Number one, Black folks in Georgia, like, we've already known. It's not news to us that they hate us. It's not news to us that they will use us and disenfranchise us. But I hope to God it's news to you. I hope to God when you hear that, you say, what the F did I just hear?
This right here is the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp. He is the individual that rapper Killer Mike uplifted against Stacey Abrams. Remember these photos during the pandemic when Killer Mike was meeting up with Brian Kemp and going around and trash talking Stacey Abrams, which in essence uplifts Brian Kemp, and had Black men in the state of Georgia following suit? Yeah, he was cozying up to Brian Kemp. Y'all remember this picture? All at the same meeting, right? And whatever was discussed, Killer Mike then went out and did what he promised Brian Kemp he would do. And yeah, Stacey Abrams didn't get elected.
Black people, I'm talking to you now. White folks, listen in. If you're watching this, listen in. Everything you just heard is important. It's important to freedom. It's important to democracy. It's important to you because you're a part of this community. Black folks, I'm talking to you. The next time I hear any one of you tell me, oh, they're all the same. The next time I hear another black person that's trying to tell me, like Killer Mike, who goes and shakes Kemp's hand, who just now made it even easier for even himself, Killer Mike, to be disenfranchised. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what it's going to take, black folks, for you to realize that just because you think independently and that makes you cool to yourself, you think that that helps you, that you got something going on, you know more, and you know more than everybody else. And you shake Governor Kemp's hand because you're saying, we've been on the plantation for Democrats for too long. Or like Anna Kasparian, you say, they're all a uniparty. Don't forget, the Republican Party is the biggest pro-racist organization, anti-black organization on earth. The Republican Party, given a chance, not just the constituents, but some of them too, but those who are itching for power, will destroy us, take everything away from us, put you back on the plantation. The Republican Party is in favor of raping your mother, black man, and then taking away the right for her to abort the baby that comes afterward because they want the power to use it to make more money. If you think I'm lying, keep voting Republican. If you stay home, you are destructive to us. Because you think it doesn't matter. You think it's all the same. You think everything is just I gotta go to work, I gotta come back. That ain't gonna change my life. Bull! It will. It will change your life. They're already changing your life. You're just too ignorant to realize it. Because the only time you'll feel it is when it's gone so far that you're back on the plantation. If you don't believe me, ask Governor Kemp. So get with the program, people. Now, the rest of us, we know what to do. Get someone else out to vote. They're gerrymandering. They are taking away our rights, not just gerrymandering. Their voter suppression is in every single red state. And this is a purple state, Georgia is. We voted for Biden. But we still have enough people voting for Marjorie Taylor Greene, too. So it's not enough to vote for yourself. It's not enough. You have to get every single person to invite every other person to come vote because the odds are now stacked against us in Georgia. They're stacked against you in Louisiana. They're stacked against you in Texas. They're stacked against you in South Carolina. They're stacked against you in Kentucky. They're stacked against you in Arizona. They're stacked against you in Alaska, I believe, but I'll just save that with a caveat because it's been a while since I checked. You want to know how Trump wins? You vote and don't get someone else to do it as well when you live in one of these states. Because we're going to have women have had to have that glass ceiling where they know they've had to be 20 times better just to get the same respect. Black people have had to live with that all their lives since the history of this country. We have to be 20 times better just to get the same pay or respect or placement. Now, as a Democrat, you're going to have to vote 20 times harder. Push 20 times harder. Organize 20 times harder just to win by one. Trump will be president if you don't. I don't know if they're not telling you that. I don't know what you're watching. If you're watching TYT, good for you. Just make sure you come here when you need some news. Because the truth is, if you're not doing that, Trump will win. It'll be legally done. It'll be taking away people's voting rights legally with no recourse. That's what we're facing. That's what we're facing. They haven't won a popular election in 20 years. So saying that more of us vote than them is not an issue. We have to have 20 times more. You feel me? You feel me, Laura?
I do. I feel you. And as a Canadian who's impacted by this as well, I only wish I could do 20 times more.
Well, you can. You're on this channel reaching out to people. And that's the key. People like Killer Mike, just because they're black, let me tell you something. People of color who watch this, I think that he means well. Unfortunately, that won't absolve him from the consequences of his stupidity. That won't absolve him of the consequences because he thinks that he means well. Neither will it absolve you. So, if you're in Canada, call somebody. Organize too. Do what you do. Put out a statement. Go online. I only can tell you that it's no longer enough. It's no longer enough to do you, boo. It's no
well, we have some fantastic people in our chat groups, and they reach out to other chat groups, and they reach out to other chat groups, and they leave the comments, positive or negative.
Yes, you guys can do that too, please. And so there's also good news. It's not all bad, but we're in a crisis situation. This is the warning. This is the warning. This is the last chance. This is the last chance. Black folks, no, we live like this. So maybe for the first time, there's going to be some of you that are going to be feeling this anxiousness and this dread. I'm here to tell you that this is how we've lived for a long time. So we know what it means to have to go hard and to have to stiffen that upper lip and to have to do things that you may be uncomfortable doing, to lose a little sleep, have to work a little harder. We know what that is. Some of us have forgotten and become complacent and go shake hands with Governor Kemp. But most of us, we know what that is. And women, many of you know what that is. It's time. It's time. It's time. This is it. It's now or never. Do something. Do something more than, if you're doing something, do a little bit more. Do a little bit more. Do a little bit more. They're taking it away from us. They're taking it away from us. But there's also good news. There's also good news because we did get rid of this guy one time, so we can do it again. Tell me some of that good news, Laura. What is...
Or that Newton's first law of physics, equal and opposite forces.
Yes, yes.
Let's swing back. Let's swing back.
Let's bring the pendulum.
All right, well, let's see now. The good news of the week is... Biden was down in Wisconsin to make the announcement about the new Microsoft AI data center in Racine, Wisconsin.
Oh yeah,
20,000 new jobs.
Infrastructure.
And this is on the heels of the failed Foxconn mega eighth wonder of the world that was promised by Trump admin to be a big thing. People were sitting around like playing on their cell phones, nothing's going on. And homes were destroyed to build that place, and nothing ever happened.
Wow.
And Biden's speech was fantastic. The golden shovels digging a hole was good. I guess golden shovel jokes are better than golden shower jokes.
I'll take it. I'll definitely take
But
it.
Dark Brandon was on it. He was on fire with the yep.
Awesome, man. That infrastructure bill is just doing a whole lot of great stuff, man. We got to remember that in all the rants, we have to remember that he's not uh oh, I got a piece of good news before you go on. Okay, go ahead. Go.
Also, Tuesday night's Ohio exit polls or elections were a big win.
Oh, really? Oh, yes, that's right. Outstanding.
Um,
And Indiana, where people came out to show how much they hated Trump by giving 20% of the vote to Nikki Haley. That's good news. That's some good news. It's not all's not lost. And
they also held the governor's mansion in Kentucky, took full control of state legislature in Virginia, won a Supreme Court election in Pennsylvania, and were even competitive in Mississippi.
we're doing it, people. We're doing it.
The exit polls were a good example. Well, Biden had a 39% approval rating among the voters who made abortion and marijuana legal in the state. Only 25% said he should even run for re-election, which is less than the 35% who said the same about Trump.
Oh, wow. It's still a win then.
It's still a win.
It's
Yeah,
still a win.
another piece of evidence. Self-reported Biden voters outnumbered Trump voters by 2 points. Even in a state Trump won by 8 points.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
They're chipping away, maybe a little faster, but we're also chipping away with a bigger hammer, I believe.
Well, he's got no infrastructure money or campaign, so we at least know we have that. That's some really good news. People, all's not lost. People are out there fighting, and we're winning elections. Ohio, we're winning judgeships, we're winning state offices, and also, if you're mad, you have a right to be mad. About what's going on in Israel, but there's even great news there. Finally, Joe Biden decided to say, if you go into Rafah, I'm not giving you these weapons, and I'm not giving you the 2,000-pound weapons or the 5,000-pound weapons, as well as these are all those different types of bombs. They have different names in the military. He's withholding them. He didn't just talk. He actually, for the first time, withheld them. And if you care about that type of stuff as well, if that was the reason why you were hesitant for voting, let this at least be some wind underneath your wings. Okay? I can't tell you that you don't have a right to feel strongly about what's going on over there. I can tell you that we finally got good news. So you have it's so let me turn on my camera again. It's okay to smile about that. It's okay to enjoy that because that's good news. He's withholding the bombs, and Israel said, well, we can do it ourselves. Well, then you could have been doing it yourself the whole time. Fine. But if that's what you care about, we even have good news on that front. All's not lost, people. Polls are looking better. Actual factual elections are looking better. We're gaining. In places like Georgia, we just got to dig in a little harder. We can do it, guys. We can do it.
Vote Dems. We don't have brainworms.
And on that, smoke one for me, guys. That's it. It's late. I know it's going to be the longest one. Thank you so much for joining us on Thank Ganja. It's Friday. Laura, you were amazing. Thank you for bringing levity to all my rants.
Oh,
let's
new moon energy. Let's we burned through it, man. Thank Ganja. It's Friday.
Thank Ganja. It's Friday, guys. Peace.